There's something we put on every single day, something that sits closer to our skin than anything else. Yet, it's often the last thing we think about. I'm talking about your socks and underwear. And more specifically, the color of them. Now, I know how that sounds. At first, I brushed it off too. But stay with me. Because, if you've been feeling low energy lately, more irritable, less patient, easily tired, there might be a subtle reason right at your feet. Here's what I've seen, over and over. Especially among women who carry a lot on their shoulders, when we're overwhelmed, we simplify. We grab what's easy, what's neutral, what goes with everything. That usually means dark socks, gray underwear, safe colors, no thought needed. But what no one tells you is your body notices. It responds. Not in some mystical way, but physically. Certain colors send signals to the brain. They can cool the body, slow the breath, even shift your mood. And when that cool becomes cold, especially on places like your feet and belly, it quietly impacts how you feel all day. This isn't about style. It's not about matching your bra to your purse. This is about comfort, about warmth, about energy that doesn't leak away before noon. Because sometimes, you're not tired because of age or workload or hormones. Sometimes, it's the tension your body's been holding, since you slipped on something that looks fine but feels wrong. In 2026, 4 colors in particular may do more harm than good when worn too close to the skin. And no, you don't have to throw everything out. This isn't a warning, it's an invitation to pay attention, to come back to your senses, literally. Because when your body feels at ease, your choices get clearer, your sleep deeper, and your patience just a little bit longer. Let's talk about the colors you might want to rethink, starting with the one that looks calm, but wears like a chill. Part 1. The color that looks cool but feels cold. Light blue. Let's talk about a color that seems completely harmless. Light blue. It's the color of a clear sky, a glass of water on a quiet morning, a soft cotton shirt drying in the sun. For many women, especially in the US, light blue feels safe, clean, even gentle. It's a go-to color for baby gifts, pajamas, soft blankets. We associate it with calm. So why would I suggest being careful with it, especially when it comes to the clothes that touch your skin the most? Here's why. Because not everything that looks calm on the outside creates calm on the inside. And if your feet are always cold, if your belly tightens throughout the day for no clear reason, or if you have trouble falling asleep at night, despite doing everything right, there's a quiet chance light blue is playing a small, but steady role. When I first moved into my own apartment in the US, money was tight. I bought the cheapest basics I could find, mostly in gray, black, and light blue. I didn't think twice. Light blue looked clean. It felt easy. I stocked up, socks, underwear, tanks. But over time, something shifted. I couldn't explain why I felt heavy in the mornings. My feet were always chilly, even in summer. My lower belly felt tense, like it was holding something in. I chalked it up to stress, or hormones, or aging, the usual suspects. But one day, while folding laundry, I paused. Almost every soft layer touching my skin was cold in tone. It hit me. Maybe the feeling wasn't just from within. Maybe it was being reinforced every day, from the outside in. Here's what we know. The human body is deeply sensitive to color and temperature. We are visual creatures. Yes, but we are also visceral ones. That means what we wear doesn't just affect how we look. It affects how we feel. Light blue belongs to the color family that sends a cooling signal to the brain. That message gets translated into sensation. And the areas most sensitive to temperature, your feet, your belly, your lower back, are often where socks and underwear sit. That chill may not register as pain. It's subtle. It shows up as restlessness, as shallow breathing, as sleep that doesn't quite refresh you. Now think about the American lifestyle. So many of us live in temperature-controlled environments. We wake up in air-conditioned homes. We drive air-conditioned cars. we walk into air-conditioned offices. But somehow we still feel cold. The chill isn't always in the air. Sometimes it's in our habits, in our drawers, in the things we wear without thinking. And the cost isn't dramatic. It's not about fainting or freezing. It's more silent than that. It's the small drop in energy before noon. The tension that builds in your stomach before a hard conversation. The moment you walk into the house and all you want it, even when it's 72 degrees inside. I've spoken with women who've worn light blue for years. Not because they loved it, but because it was easy to find. Easy to buy in multi-packs. No one told us to think twice about the color of our socks. And who would? It sounds ridiculous at first, but then they try something else. A warm beige, a muted blush, a creamy off-white, and suddenly, their bodies respond differently. Not always dramatically, but noticeably. I don't know why, one woman told me. But when I switched out my light blue socks, I stopped waking up with cold feet. It's not about fear or superstition. It's about awareness. If your body tends to run cold if you rely on heating pads, extra layers, or hot drinks just to feel comfortable, then adding another cold signal, even in color, might not be helping you. And if you're someone who already carries emotional tension, especially in the belly, it makes sense to offer your body warmth. Instead of chill, light blue isn't the enemy. But it's not neutral, either. That's the key. No color is truly neutral when it lives right against your skin. So what can you do? You don't need to throw anything away. Start by noticing. Pull open your sock drawer. What colors greet you? Are they warm? Are they grounding? Or do they feel like ice water at your ankles? Then do a simple 3-day check-in. Wear light blue socks and underwear for 3 days. Pay attention to your body. Then switch to warmer tones: cream, beige, light brown, and feel the difference. It's not about judgment. It's about listening. And sometimes, our bodies speak quietly. We just haven't been taught how to hear them. In a world full of noise, taking care of yourself can begin with something as small as color. So before we move on to the next shade, ask yourself this: what kind of energy do I want to invite today? And is my body dressed for it or against it? Part 2: Metallic Shine, Metallic Mood. Silver. Silver is beautiful, sleek, polished. It catches the light in all the right ways. From jewelry to handbags, from evening clutches to watch bands, silver makes us feel put together. It reflects elegance, modernity, clarity. But here's something we don't often ask: what happens when that same shimmer isn't on your wrist or your ears, but pressed close against your skin, all day long? Because that's when silver starts to feel different. There's a reason why so many cold surfaces in our lives are silver: refrigerators, phones, laptops, steel sinks. Silver doesn't just shine, it chills. It brings with it the energy of technology, of speed, of sleek efficiency. And while that may work for machines, it doesn't always work for the human body. Especially not when the body is asking for softness, warmth, and ease. Wearing silver-colored socks or underwear may seem harmless, even stylish. But the feedback I've heard, especially from women in midlife, is surprisingly consistent. It feels cold. Not just to the touch, but to the nervous system. It's not that you're freezing. It's that your body never quite relaxes. There's a tension that lingers, a low-level alertness that never fully turns off. I remember the first time I noticed this in my daughter. She had picked out a pair of shiny silver socks, glittery, fun, perfect for a party. She loved how they looked. She twirled in front of the mirror with that kind of light only kids have. But an hour later, she sat down and said, "Mom, my feet feel weird. Kinda cold." The room wasn't cold, nothing had changed. But her body had picked up on something subtle. And that moment stayed with me. See, our eyes may be drawn to sparkle, but our bodies crave grounding. And silver, while stunning in accessories, often sends a very different message when it becomes part of our daily base layers. It whispers coolness, stillness, even isolation. I've spoken to women who wear silver-trimmed lingerie or metallic gray undergarments because they're elegant, refined. But they also confess they sleep lightly, feel on edge, or wake up already tired. It's not always a direct cause and effect, but it's a pattern worth noticing. Because when a color visually mimics something cold, metal, chrome, steel, your body can respond by subtly pulling back, holding tension in places that were meant to soften. There's also a cultural layer to silver we don't always acknowledge. In many Western traditions, silver is tied to formality, to silence, to stillness. Think of award ceremonies, anniversaries, formal wear. Silver signals distance, prestige, control. But very few of us need more of that energy in our daily lives. What we need, especially in a world of constant noise and digital overload, is softness, slowness, a sense of being at home in our own skin. That doesn't mean silver has no place. On the contrary, silver can be beautiful in moderation. A hair clip, a bracelet, a shimmer on the edge of a scarf. But when silver becomes your default, your go-to, for the pieces closest to your body, it may do more than you realize. Here's something simple you can try. Hold your silver items up to natural light, near a window. Not under indoor bulbs, but real daylight. Ask yourself, does this color feel warm? Or does it reflect back something sharp, detached, a little too crisp? If it feels even slightly stiff or distant, there's a good chance your body feels the same way when you wear it. That doesn't mean you have to get rid of everything metallic, but maybe scale it back. Let silver be the accent, not the main note. Choose warm base layers, creams, soft browns, blush tones. Let silver appear in places that don't hold your warmth hostage. Because warmth isn't just physical, it's emotional. It's the space we make for ourselves to soften, to breathe, to not be on all the time. And sometimes, that starts with something as quiet as the color of your socks. So before you reach for the next shiny thing, pause. Ask, is this helping me feel alive? Or just making me look composed? There's a difference, and your body already knows it. Part 3: The color of retreat and quiet resistance. Black. Black is a color many of us reach for without thinking. It's timeless, slimming, easy to match. It doesn't stain easily. It travels well, and in a world where simplicity often feels like survival, black seems like the safest choice. But the truth is, black doesn't just match everything. It also carries everything. Everything we're holding in, everything we haven't said, everything we no longer have the energy to explain. Most mornings, especially when we're tired, overwhelmed, or just trying to get out the door without too much mental effort, we go for what's familiar. A black bra, black underwear, a black pair of socks. They're neutral, practical, invisible. And yet what I've seen, what I've lived, is that the more we rely on black as our daily foundation, the more we start to pull away from ourselves. Not because black is bad, but because we're using it to disappear, quietly, gently, day after day. Think about it. When you're not in the mood to talk, when you feel emotionally raw, or mentally exhausted, what do you put on? Most of us reach for dark, loose, quiet clothes. It's a form of protection, a shield, a way of saying, please not today. And that's okay. We all need to retreat sometimes. We all need moments of stillness and privacy. But when black becomes the default, not the exception, it can slowly change how we relate to the world. And more importantly, how we relate to ourselves. I've sat with women who've worn black as their everyday base layer for years. Not because they love it, but because they stopped choosing. Somewhere along the way, the color stopped being a preference and became a habit. A soft resignation. It's easy, they say. It hides everything. But that's the point, isn't it? Hiding the body, hiding the mood, hiding the part of yourself that used to want to feel a little more alive. There's something else black does that most people never notice until they step away from it. It absorbs light. Literally. And emotionally. When you wear black close to your skin, especially in fabrics that are tight, synthetic, or non-breathable, it can intensify that feeling of emotional heaviness. Not dramatically, not in a way that stops your day, but subtly, like a quiet dimmer on your energy, like closing the curtains, just a bit more each morning until one day, you forget what the sunlight feels like. And here's the thing, many women I've spoken to are not struggling outwardly. They're doing well. They're taking care of families, they're running businesses, they're holding things together. But inside, there's a weight, a dullness, a sense that somewhere, somehow, the light got lost. Not in some dramatic way, but in small, daily acts of silence. And black, while visually strong, emotionally safe, can deepen that silence if worn too constantly. Of course, black is elegant, it's powerful, it's formal, and yes, there are days when nothing feels more grounding than a soft black sweater or a tailored black dress. This isn't about erasing black from your wardrobe. It's about rethinking how close it sits to your body and how often. Ask yourself this: is black helping me feel strong? Or just hidden? Is it protecting me? Or slowly pulling me into retreat? Here's a gentle practice for 1 week. Keep the black on the outside your jacket, your shoes, your bag, but try wearing warm tones underneath: a beige camisole, a muted pink bra, ivory socks. Then check in with yourself. Not in a scientific way, just in a human way. Did you feel a little lighter? A bit more open? Did your body breathe easier? Sometimes, that's all we need. A shift so small, it moves the energy just enough for light to come back in. There's also something tender about letting go of black as a default. Because often, it's not about the color. It's about the season of life we've been in. A season of carrying, managing, surviving. And when you begin to choose softness again, when you choose to not disappear, it can feel like rediscovering a part of yourself that got buried under the weight of function. One woman shared this with me: I didn't realize how long I'd been dressing like. I didn't want to be seen until I wore something pale pink. And my husband said, "You look like yourself again." She cried when she told me that. Not because it was about fashion, but because it reminded her she's still here. Underneath it all, under the black, under the years. So no, black isn't dangerous. But it can be a quiet kind of goodbye to yourself, worn day after day. And the good news is, you can always choose again. The smallest color shift can be the start of a new season. Not flashy, not loud, just warmer, and sometimes, that's enough. Part 4. The color you don't love but wear when you're tired. Gray. Gray isn't anyone's favorite color. It's not the color you reach for when you're celebrating. It's not the one that lights up a room or draws a compliment. It's the color you wear when you're too tired to care. And that's what makes it so dangerous. Because gray doesn't show up like a problem. It shows up like nothing, like background noise, like fog. On mornings when everything feels like too much, gray is easy. It doesn't clash. It doesn't ask anything of you. It doesn't say, "Look at me." It says, "Just get through the day." And for that reason, gray becomes the uniform of exhaustion. I've heard it from women over and over. I didn't realize how much gray I owned until I stopped feeling anything when I wore it. If you open your drawer and see rows of gray underwear, gray socks, gray sleepwear, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You've just been tired for too long. And gray made sense. It matched your need for quiet, for low effort, for disappearing just a little. But here's the thing about wearing gray all the time. It doesn't just match your mood, it starts to shape it. Gray is the color of overcast skies, of unfinished thoughts, of energy on pause. And the more your body touches that color, day after day, the more it begins to forget how to feel light again. I remember one woman telling me, "I walked past the mirror and didn't recognize myself. I looked like I was waiting for something, but I didn't know what." She was wearing a full set of gray pajamas, socks, even her hair clip. And it wasn't that she looked bad. She looked like she'd paused her own life. She had become background to herself. Gray isn't loud, it doesn't announce itself. But it quietly pulls you into the middle. Not joy, not sadness, just in between. That space where you function, but don't feel. Where you manage things, but don't look forward to them. Where your energy stays low not because something's wrong, but because nothing feels quite right. And that's what makes gray so hard to notice. You don't wear it because you love it. You wear it because you're tired. Because you're carrying too much. Because choosing something else feels like one more decision you don't have the energy for. But your body notices. Even if your mind doesn't. It feels the lack of warmth, the lack of invitation. And over time, that quiet dullness settles into your mood. Your sleep, your presence. It's not depression, it's depletion. And gray, worn too often, can reinforce that state. This isn't about judging the color itself. Gray can be beautiful in a soft knit sweater, a brushed wool scarf, a pair of slacks that feel tailored and strong. But when gray becomes your everyday foundation, your socks, your underwear, your first layer against the skin, it stops being a neutral choice. It becomes a signal. One that says, I'm not here for anything special, I'm just getting by. And you deserve more than just getting by. So what can you do? You don't have to throw everything out. Just soften the edges. Mix your grays with warmer tones like dusty rose, soft ivory, gentle beige. Swap one gray item for something with life in it. Not flashy, just warm. A pair of creamy socks. A camisole in a muted blush. A sleep shirt that reminds you what comfort really feels like. Or try this. Go 3 days wearing your usual gray base layers. Notice how your body feels when you wake up, when you go to bed. Then, for the next 3 days, switch to warmer tones. Ask yourself, did something shift? Did I feel just a little more present? A little more like myself? Sometimes, the change we're looking for isn't a big leap. It's a gentle return. To color. To breathe. To the small spark of energy that says, I remember who I am. And if you're still in a season where everything feels gray emotionally, physically, please know that season will pass. But you don't have to wait for it to end to bring back a little warmth. You can start now. Quietly, kindly, with what you choose to wear underneath it all. Because your body doesn't ask for much. Just softness. Just a bit of light. Just a reminder that you're still here. Still worthy of feeling alive in your skin, even on the quietest of days. Final. So maybe this isn't just about color. Maybe it's about how long we've been moving through life without checking in with our own skin. Maybe it's about the quiet ways we adapt, choosing what's easy, what blends in, what helps us cope, without realizing that. Slowly, those choices shape how we feel, how we think, how we carry ourselves through the day. Light blue, with its cooling softness, can be beautiful, but it may not be what your body needs when it's already trying to stay warm. Silver, though elegant, can mimic the coldness of steel, screens, and surfaces, not exactly the kind of energy your nervous system finds restful. Black, timeless as it is, can become a quiet retreat that turns into a pattern of hiding. And gray, though neutral, can reflect back the part of you that's simply getting by, without asking for more. These are not judgments. These are gentle observations. And your body, more than anyone, already knows what feels right. It's been telling you in the way your shoulders tighten, in the way your feet ache, in the way your chest forgets how to breathe deep. You don't need to overhaul your closet. You don't need to chase perfect colors. You only need to ask, what would feel kinder today? What would give my body a little more ease, a little more lightness? Because your energy matters. Your comfort matters. Not just for aesthetics, but for focus, for sleep, for the way you speak to others, for the choices you make. When your base layers support you, you show up differently for your work, your family, yourself. Thank you for staying through this conversation, for being willing to look beneath the surface. Even when it feels small or even silly. It's not. You're not. If no one's told you lately, you deserve to feel warm, grounded, and held by your own care. I hope your 2026 is lighter. I hope your mornings feel softer. And I hope that whatever you wear next, whether it's beige, blush, or a quiet cream, feels like a gentle reminder that you are still here and you still matter. Take good care, and I'll see you soon.